Modern language replacement and its relationship with geography. Language replacement is the process in which a group of people who speak a language switch over to using a different one for any reason. There are several causes of this, including an influx of a new population of foreign language speakers, a perceived higher prestige status of one language over another, and sometimes even the outlawing of certain languages from being spoken. Whilst choosing to speak one language over another isn't necessarily a bad thing, language shifting in isolated regions or within groups that speak a culturally unique language can lead to language endangerment or even language extinction by eliminating the need to communicate in that language, thus preventing the language from being passed down to newer generations. The primary reason for this phenomenon is when the speakers of this cultural language are situated near a country with greater influence. In modern Luxembourg, there are four languages spoken by the majority of the population, including the country's ethnic language, Luxembourgish, and French, the language of France, which borders the small country of Luxembourg. Today, despite being the country's national language, the number of people able to speak Luxembourgish has diminished to only around 67 to 77% of the population and falling, whilst the amount of people able to speak French in the country stays at a consistent 98 to 99%, most being non native speakers of the language. This is a major deviation from the 99% of the population who could speak Luxembourgish around a century prior. This shows that much of the population is willingly adopting French as a main form of communication. Today, there are very few writings in Luxembourgish, almost all written communication being in French or German, and Luxembourgish still only being secondary to French in spoken communication. Today, Scotland is made up mostly of speakers of English and Scots, an English related language. However, in the past, it used to have a much higher concentration of Gaelic speakers. In the year 1755, approximately 23% of Scotland's population spoke Gaelic, the number dropping significantly after the next century, and even further until 2011 when it was recorded that barely over 1% of the population of the country was capable of speaking the language, even fewer being capable of reading and writing in it. Once again, it's most likely that the influence of a more powerful country, i.e., England in this circumstance, caused the language to be dropped by nobles in favor of English. Because of this perceived prestige among the foreign language, Scottish Gaelic is now considered a rural and endangered language which nobody speaks monolingually, putting it ever closer to extinction. Although language death by means of force and conquest is a period mostly long gone, language replacement is still a significant phenomenon all around the world due to the adoption of larger and more influential languages, and due to this, thousands of languages are at risk of dying to this day. Hopefully, the speakers of these languages and language preservation organizations can help pass these dialects down and keep their cultures alive in spite of their linguistic surroundings.